What's up, guys? Kayak Mike here. In this video, we're going to go over the Fleagle Electric Slot monthly tournament that we're hosting this year. It's April through November. There won't be an event in July. Your best 5 scores will go towards the pot. It's only $25 an entry. 20 of that goes to the pot. Any remainder pays for miscellaneous app fees, and any remainder after that is going towards the free kayak that the winner of this trail is going to receive. I want to touch on that really quick. This is for bank, kayak, and boat. State laws. As many people can be fishing, as many rods. Don't care. This is really for the guys who are out there fishing anyway and want to get into like some kind of side pot. Um, so yeah, bank, kayak, boat doesn't matter to me how many rods you're using, what state you're fishing in. Nope, absolutely no pay lakes. If you're found to be fishing in a pay lake, you'll be banned for life. We'll try and talk with you about it first, educate you, and then if you still decide to fish pay lakes, you're banned from my scene for life. I have a no tolerance rule for pay lake fishermen. Um, did I miss anything else? Oh, the kayak. We'll touch on the free kayak. So the winner of this is going to win a free kayak. This free kayak, you physically have to pick up yourself at Raccoon Creek Outfitters. So keep that in mind. If you're fishing across the country somewhere, this free kayak will not be delivered to you. This will be a completely free kayak for you if you want it, if you win the point series, but you are responsible for going to pick it up from Raccoon Creek Outfitters. That's how that's going to work. If you win the points race and you end up not wanting the kayak, you must try and sell it to the person who took second place in the point race first, and then third, and then fourth, and then fifth, so on and so forth, at a reasonable price. We're going to ask that you sell it for no more than $1,000. This for a couple reasons. One, that's $1,000 payday for a point race for a national slot tournament. That's a pretty good payday for winning a point race for a 30-inch max tournament. Uh, Two, we want to keep it in the family. We want to keep anglers who are fishing in our scene either upgrading their equipment or getting better equipment. So, for instance, if a bank angler didn't win but took second and you sold to him for $1,000, now we have a bank angler in a kayak. Let's say someone in a Tamarack 100 is fishing in the slot series and they somehow take second or third, and you get down to them. Well, now they just upgraded to the new Canoe Unlimited. Let's say it's a boat guy who's always wanted to kayak fish but never had the opportunity or didn't want to invest any more funds into fishing other than their boat. Well, now they have a brand new unlimited for only $1,000. Like, you see what I mean? And the main reason we're doing this is it's actually extremely beneficial to the person who wins it. In most tournament series, if you win a boat, you win the boat, but you still have to pay the taxes on it, and then you have to go through the headache of selling it. Then you have to go through the headache of the paperwork. We're eliminating that. Hypothetically speaking, let's say I won this tournament and I did not want the unlimited. I would offer it up to second place. They would pay me the $1,000. I would tell Raccoon Creek Outfitters, hey, I won that, or they paid me the $1,000. Then they would allow you to come up and pick it up from them. I don't have to worry about the transaction at all of the physical kayak. I don't have to go get the kayak. It saves me a trip from having to. I don't have to house a kayak. I don't have to until it gets sold. So that's the beauty of how we're doing this. So yes, we are kind of forcing your hand. We're forcing you to sell it to people in the points race. Now, if you go through the whole points race and nobody wants it, then it's open market. Then you can do whatever you want with it. But if you can, we're going to ask that you sell it to someone within the point race. So that's how that works on the points. And let's go to the actual the act of fishing. So if you're not aware, we're online catfishing tournament. Download the Fishing Chaos app, create a profile. To find us, go to Trail Club, start typing in online catfishing tournaments, and then you must be a member before you enter. If you're not a member, you're subject to full forfeiture of that tournament's winnings. After you become a member, there'll be a join button right here. Go to tournaments to find this tournament series. Go down to Fleagle Electric Slot. Click on that. Only the first one's posted. I wanted to make this video before I made the rest of the tournament so I could just copy the link each time I copied the tournament. Go ahead and click on the tournament. You'll register. It looks like we already have 6 anglers registered. Actually, I'm going to fish in this tournament, so I'll just go through the registration process with you guys. You click register. Myself. Here's my information. No pay lake fishing, I understand. I have read the rules, etc. That's not my actual phone number. I just, I have a fake one for when I do stuff like this. Next, $25. Next. Again, this is whatever. Remember, the Fishing Chaos subscription is not the same as the online catfishing tournament's annual membership. That membership is your membership to the group. We use that to pay for your insurance, and any minor money we have left over goes towards the 5 kayaks that we're giving away for free this year, and the tens of thousands of dollars that we're giving away for free in the National Kayak Trail. This is a no profit organization. We're about 20-30 grand in debt invested into you guys every single year. The Fishing Chaos subscription, what that is, the app itself has to charge per person per tournament. This app is amazing. You can't run an app like this for free. So they will have a minor fee. If you plan on fishing more than 10 to 12 tournaments this year on this app, not even for me, just on this app in general, I would suggest getting their annual membership because you'll save money over time. If you don't plan on fishing more than 10 to 12, maybe don't get their annual membership because it might end up being more expensive. I get it because I fish 15 to 30 tournaments a year, if not more. So that's why I had the Fishing Chaos subscription. But remember, Fishing Chaos subscription, not the same as OCT. You do not need a Fishing Chaos subscription to fish our tournaments. You must have an OCT membership to fish our tournaments. Next. My credit card's saved already. Check out. And then I'm going to keep talking to you guys. It takes a little while for it to go through, normally 10 to 20 seconds. Once you are registered, you see I got a little message. It sends you a receipt in your message bin. If you go back to tournament home, it already shows I'm on the roster, and it already shows I bought a ticket for the tournament. If I click on Angler roster, I might not be there. So you see how I'm not here? You have to give the roster, it acknowledges you're registered, but you do have to give the roster 1 to 5 minutes or so to actually get your name and your profile up there. I strongly suggest that you put a profile picture along with your profile. Reason being is if something went wrong with your sign up and it pulled your name, your profile picture would be blank. That's how I would know something went wrong with your sign up. If your profile picture's blank, but I see your name is there, I'm gonna reach out to you and say, hey, look, there might be something wrong with your entry. But as long as I can see your profile picture, that's my way of knowing 100% for sure you signed up correctly. It's taken a little while. It's okay. We'll come back to that, and I'll show you guys. Now to the fish. This is your 10 best, but not breaking 30 inches. So what does that mean? You see this 30-inch mark? Fish cannot be past that, but we do have specific rules around measuring the fish. You cannot be actively manipulating the fish to make it smaller. You cannot be actively manipulating the fish to make it bigger. You must be trying to achieve full length. I must be looking at this and thinking that you're trying to achieve full length. Lucky for you guys, I live in Ohio. I have caught and submitted, maybe tens of thousands of slot fish at this point. So I know for a fact he's trying to submit this at max length because if you take this fish and you pushed him flat against this board, he probably doesn't even make 29.75. He's probably more closer to 29.5. Let's move on to other ones. This one right here, 29.25. It's clearly bumped. Other parts. You have to have the identifier in the photo. It must be legible. Your board must be legible. It must be clearly bumped. Blues and channels, right side down, left side up, and you get scored based off the furthest touching the measuring surface. If I scroll in on this guy, 29.25, this fish clearly isn't going to get any bigger than that. This fish is legal. Let's go to another. I'm going to go to another perfect entry. Adam Fleagle has one. Here's another good example. Normally, I ask you to have that upper tail as straight as possible. In this case, Adam's lower tail was giving him more length, so Adam has his lower tail stretched out as far as possible. This upper tail wasn't going to probably get him that 29.75, so that's more than and this is actually a rare situation. Our rules don't say that you have to have the upper tail straight. It's just generally speaking, that's how you get your longest length is with the upper tail going straight. If you'll notice from like these other pictures, most guys, like Matt Stewart, perfect example, beautifully bumped. The fish is as straight as can be. You see how he has this upper tail straight? This isn't. You're not allowed to spread the tail to reduce the length, but this isn't a spread tail. This upper tail is as straight as possible, trying to achieve max length, and it clearly doesn't break 30. It's at 29.75, so it's good. If your fish breaks 30 inches, You cannot submit it to this leaderboard. If I feel like your fish has any opportunity to break 30 inches, I will fully disqualify that fish. Let's look at this one, 29.5. Right side down, left side up. Clearly bumped. There's our identifier. He wrote it on him. He pinched. So you're allowed to pinch the tail. You cannot actively be pinching it. But if you pinch that tail and let it go and he naturally sits there, that's perfectly fine. 29.7 or 29.5. 29.5 is right here. So for me, here's the thing. I couldn't tell you if I reduced this or not. He might have submitted this as a perfect score. I can't remember. I judge thousands of these a year. This may be touching 29.75. This might just be a dark spot on the board. Say up here, unfortunately, I don't have a way to prove if this upper tail is crossing this 0.75 boundary. So, and again, I don't know if this is a shadow. I don't know if this is the physical tail. I can only zoom in so much. So I believe this angler submitted at 29.5. I don't actually believe he submitted at 29.75. But let's say he did submit it at 0.75. I'm reducing this because it is not clear as day 29.75. The slot tournaments where I get really nitpicky, I'm nothing slides here. Let me show you an example of a spread. Let me see if I can find an example of a spread tail on a smaller fish that would be a quote unquote disqualification if it was closer to the slot limit. Let's see here. Not that one. That's a flathead. Oh, great example. Okay, flatheads. Make sure you watch the how to measure fish video because flatheads, they're allowed to be measured on their belly, and it's based off of what is clearly touching the measuring surface. So you see how the flathead's bottom of the tail comes down and is touching 29.5 right here, but then it comes up in the air. So in this picture, in this example, this tail just so happens to be coming the opposite direction, and he has a very good photo. In some cases, if the camera is angled, sometimes it makes it appear as if the flathead's longer because the tail that's off the board the angle makes it appear as longer. Remember, on flatheads, they can be measured on their bellies. It is the furthest touching the measuring surface. I'm trying to find our anglers that have like the first tournament. I inevitably have to DQ a lot of fish. As the season goes on, our anglers get really good, so I'm actually kind of struggling to find an example of a spread tail that would be result in a DQ on a bigger fish. So let's see here. I can't find one. And I know I DQ'd fish, but I don't want to go into someone's. For me to go, oh here, perfect. Here's a great example. Is this Skip? Funny. Here's a great example of Skip's fish. There's nothing wrong with this specific submission because it's nowhere near the 30-inch mark. If your fish is nowhere near the 30-inch mark and you spread their tail, that's fine, perfectly fine. It's really not spread, but like hypothetically speaking, let's say this is really close to the 30-inch mark and this tail is spread out just a little wider. I'm probably going to DQ it because I don't believe that tail is trying to achieve max length. This fish is perfect as is. It's clearly a lot shorter from the 30-inch line, so I'm not worried about it whatsoever. But if we had a tail a little more spread than this, but it was very close to the 30-inch line, that's going to be a full DQ. Like I said, if I feel there's any chance that fish can touch 30 inches, I'm full DQing that fish. Yeah, our anglers do too good of a job. I can't really find any that are egregious. So yeah, like here's another great blue. Right side down, left side up. You see how he has his tail going as straight as it can, going to 29.5. In my opinion, if you took that tail and you swiped it up and down, it's not going to get any longer. So uh, we had a lot of really good anglers submit a lot of really good fish last year. I believe that covers everything. This is probably my favorite tournament to fish and host because it involves the most judging. But yeah, any questions, hit Kayak Mike up on Facebook. We went a little long-winded there on some things, but this is the tournament that always ends up having the most questions and discussions, so I wanted to make sure I did a deep dive on it. All right, Kayak Mike out of here.